So, the latest season of ReZero is currently airing, and with it, a couple of ReZero memes have kind of blown up. The specific memes I'm talking about are the Stairs one and the Happy Birthday Daniel one. So big, in fact, that the official upload of this season's intro song references the funny Stairs meme. And as someone who has seen every season of ReZero, and has watched the, at the time of writing this, latest episode, the episode that also adapts the funny Stairs meme, I think these are pretty funny for their sheer absurdity. I mean, like, look at this. So, imagine my shock when I found out that these memes are associated with LARPing in the community. And that got me thinking about the internet's current war against LARPers, and how memes fit into it. So, strap in for a however long video this is about memes, LARPing, and you.
Memes, the DNA of the soul.
First, I should talk about memes. I have a question for you. What is a meme? I'm sure you all know memes as the funny images you see online. And while those do count, funny online image isn't the definition of a meme. No, for that, we have to go back in time to 1976, where Richard Dawkins would coin the term meme in his book, The Selfish Gene. To sum up the definition of a meme, it's basically an idea of any kind that can be spread or imitated in society, in the same way that genes can be spread. I was going to make my own example of a meme, but I'll leave that to Raiden and Kevin from Metal Gear Rising.
They're the genes of a culture, from fashion to chord progressions in music, even political expression. And just like normal genes, they replicate. They grow, infecting more and more people.
You buy a shirt you like and put it on. Other people see you wearing it, then buy it for themselves.
So yeah, basically, quite literally everything you have been taught in your life is a meme. And I do mean everything. Everything your parents have taught you, everything your teachers have taught you, everything you've learned online. All memes, all passed along. This is where the internet memes everyone is familiar with come into play. As funny or completely nonsensical as some of these can be, they still fit the definition of a meme. They are still ideas that can be spread, and spread they do. These newer type of memes spread much easier because of social media. Like, if this were the 80s, you could only share what you thought was funny to people you knew. Now, you can just put an edit of Billy Butcher on YouTube, and someone who you will never meet in real life could see it. The thing with modern memes is that they can both be made from what's popular and be made from something that isn't popular and then make that popular. When I mentioned the funny Billy Butcher edit, that wasn't a one-off joke. It was specifically so I could use it as an example of the former. The meme popped up around the time the final episode of The Boys TV show dropped, and is still around now. This is a time frame where The Boys is even more talked about online than it already was. So, of course, an edit of the comic the show was based on would blow up in popularity. Another example is the Leon Kennedy one-liner meme that popped up around the time RE9 launched. Of course, a Resident Evil meme was going to get popular when a new Resident Evil game released, and especially when the character the meme revolves around is in the game. Now, for an example of something that isn't popular, making it popular, Metal Gear Rising. I don't think the general public was really aware of this game before the memes in 2022, but they sure are now. So, I think I've made my case for those 2 points, but since memes are shared to a larger amount of people than they ever have been before, they also get shared with people who aren't all that familiar with what the memes are even based on. This isn't a bad thing. I mean, the memes are what made me play Metal Gear Rising, and I had a blast. So I'm sure a lot of people who view the memes of something will try it out. But what if there are people who don't try it out, but pretend they have? What if there are people who, after seeing the memes and clips of something online, act like experts have said something? Well, you get LARPers.
Total
LARPer.
annihilation. Kill
LARPer.
behead
LARPer.
roundhouse kick
LARPer.
into the concrete.
Before I start talking about LARPers, I want to make it clear. If you see a meme, think it's funny, and make references to it, there is nothing wrong with that, and you aren't a LARPer. Memes are supposed to spread, so there's nothing wrong with referencing something you found funny. It's seeing a meme or clip of something and then pretending you are a fan of what it's about that makes you a LARPer. Now, let's actually talk about LARPers. The term LARP actually means live action roleplay, but has had its meaning changed to internet tourists as of late, so I'm going to use the new definition of LARP, not the old one. I hate LARPers. I think we all do. They are the most insufferable people ever, of all time. Why? Because they are fake. Like Syndrome from The Incredibles, they pretend to be something they are not. You gotta understand, folks, things that are popular now were pretty frowned upon in the past. Before the year 2020, being into anime and manga was pretty frowned upon. I remember my sister making fun of me and some of the YouTubers I watched for liking anime. Same thing goes for liking Sonic. Before the movies literally resurrected Sonic's reputation, he was viewed as a laughingstock. This also applies to gaming, but to a much lesser extent. Before 2020, while you wouldn't be bullied for playing video games, people would definitely give you looks if you didn't play something that was popular, like Fortnite. This all changed in 2020 when the pandemic forced people to just stay home for a year. During that time, people tried things that were new to them or that were frowned upon, including anime, manga, gaming, etc. And the thing with trying new things is that you might like them, and people did. So when the pandemic ended, so did the stigma against these things. So when the fans of these topics see idiots online pretending to like them now that it's socially acceptable to do so, of course the actual fans are going to be pissed. That's probably why there's so much disdain for LARPers. Keyword being probably. This would just be my guess. Another reason why there's so much disdain for LARPers is that they put so much time and energy into LARPing something when it would just be quicker and easier to actually just play it or watch it. It makes you wonder why they even do it. Like, what do you gain from pretending to be a fan of something? Well, like MatPat, I have theories. 1. Because what they are LARPing is popular. People have a natural desire to fit in, but also have a dislike of change. So when they see something popular, their desire to fit in makes them engage with it, but their dislike of change makes them not want to actually change anything about what they actually spend their time with. So they choose the bare minimum of what they can get away with, since that would technically satisfy both. 2. They can't. Self-explanatory. They may think they don't have enough time or money to actually get into whatever they are LARPing, so they don't. This is somewhat understandable with how the economy is, and for modern gaming especially, with how all the current consoles are over $500, I wouldn't blame any LARPers if this was their excuse. Though this doesn't apply to systems that are relatively cheap / under $100 like the 360 or the Wii. 3. They don't want to. I was having a conversation with one of my friends about what anime he should watch, and he said that he didn't want to watch anime that had girls with high-pitched voices because he found that annoying. I imagine that's the same for some LARPers. They don't actually get into what they are LARPing because there's something in it they don't like. But like I said, that is just a theory. I wouldn't know. I'm not a LARPer. I like how LARPing is just so widespread that memes about LARPing have popped up. I've already talked about the Billy Butcher meme and the Subaru Stairs meme, but there are full-on YouTubers that are LARPing as other YouTubers, like Larpapplier. And I can't even be mad at that because it's actually pretty funny. So yeah, even though LARPers are annoying, they probably aren't going to go away anytime soon with how prevalent they are online. Like, they are kind of intertwined with meme culture, as I have established. So yeah, they're going to be around for a while. But what can you do if you find LARPers annoying? Well, simple.
How about full of shit? Is that a meme?
While you can't stop other people from LARPing, you can definitely make sure you don't LARP. Making sure you don't contribute to the problem is a good way to start working against it. So that means actually watching the show you keep viewing clips of, or actually playing the game you keep seeing memes of online. Basically, keep this question in your mind. With how short life is, do you want to experience as many things as possible with your limited amount of time? The answer should be yes, so get out there and experience as many things as possible. Also, for rezero, Melee is the one who pushed Subaru off the stairs. Now go read the web novel like I'm doing, or I will spoil you a second time.